the trajectory for me was exactly as you described it. I remember I would argue the best designer in my cohort, like in my year, like absolute best. Like he just did stuff that I wouldn't even have ever thought of, and did it fast and well. Like everyone was doing overnights and he went home to sleep, and it was just like, God, this guy's so good. And his presentations were incredible. And fifth year, excuse me, we're in thesis. We're sitting at a desk, and I remember seeing him like just kind of like looking at his computer, like really frustrated. And he like slammed the desk, and he was like, "How are we supposed to live in this city?" And I was like, he just figured it out. And it's because all of us were kind of like going through the same thing. A lot of us were native New Yorkers. We've grown up here, and we cannot afford to live in the city. Like that's a much larger like macroeconomic commentary, but like within the space of architecture, like that's a truth for a lot of folks. You don't make enough money to live here. And so, as a person that grew up with a very like humble background, I was like, I got to figure this out. And so all I knew was I need to figure out some way to make sure that I'm always hireable. And so that has stuck with me all throughout. And so all that to say that the trajectory was architecture. I saw BIM management as a way to kind of launch myself into this space for technology purposes and like ultimately try and get my way into tech. Because same as you, growing up in this era, it was like, these are folks that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like these are ridiculous salaries in comparison. And it's like, if you've gone through architecture, you're like, I can do this. Like I'm done. And like you do incredible, ridiculous things as an architect. You consume so much information and data that it just, for me, did not seem like this was a complete impossibility. And again, like once I had that taste of it with scripting, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Like this is something that I'm built for.
So natural.
It felt supernatural, super natural. And so by the time I would say 2015 came around, I had my first software contract. I was with a company called Assemble Systems. They're really, really cool. They were doing actually something very similar to what we do now, which is like trying to quantify the items that are in a building. Now, they were focused on design and like mostly for like cost estimation purposes and things like that. But still, at the time, it was super novel. No one was really doing it. And in fact, it was so novel, they ended up getting acquired by Autodesk, right? So like it kind of proves out that their thesis was a good one. But that contract was one where I realized, oh, wow, I'm not anywhere near as good as I think I am. I need to like really refocus and like just really work. I have to find a mentor. There wasn't any that I could find anyway. So I continued to just kind of grind it out and learn on my own. But up until I would say, I don't think I, in quote, made it into the world of tech until 2021. I kind of flitted back and forth between being a BIM manager that knew a lot about software and tried to apply it within firms, and would often find I was getting rebuffed because they were like, look, we're just trying to get this project out the door. Can you help us do that? Which I understand. It is not an unreasonable thing to request of somebody that you've hired. This is the job you pay them for. And for me, it was so hard to see, like, how could you not see that this is something that can make you even more money? If we solve this problem, like everything changes.